Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Graham. Graham is from Austin in Texas, in the USA. So let's see what Graham has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Hello.
Hello Graham, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's a nice break in the day and the week, and yeah, it sounded fun.
Amazing. So how's your day been so far?
Work is up and down. It's if I think I'm working ahead, I drank a bunch of coffee, I got a bunch of stuff done, and if I can keep it going, then we'll be good.
Graham, tell me where are you from?
I am originally from Lorain, Ohio, which is just west of Cleveland, just very Midwestern. The only reason that people know it, usually in the States or around the world, is because we're close to a place called Sandusky, which has Cedar Point. Have you ever heard of it?
Not really, actually. I don't think so.
It's I'm 20 minutes, I'm basically like 25 minutes from this amusement park, which I believe always has the largest, fastest roller coasters in the world, that they keep breaking all these records.
I see. Okay, so now it rings a bell now.
Yes. It would have been nice if I wasn't afraid of roller coasters. So there's that. Also, the author Toni Morrison is from my hometown. I now live in Austin, Texas, after having lived in Chicago in my 20s and New York in my 30s.
Oh wow, it's been different places.
I'm nomadic.
And why Austin, Texas?
Austin, Texas, because right before I left Chicago, I met a friend who had me visit here, and then I ended up spending all of my vacation time here, like at least a week every year. I would just be down here. When I left, I would get so sad, and I'm just like, well, why don't I live here and use some of my vacation time somewhere else? So, obviously COVID threw a wrench in that, but I hope that pretty soon I could just start to explore some other places and be a little bit more stable here.
I see. And saying that, what's the best part of living in Austin?
Oh, wow. I mean, it was really funny. My old boss at my old job was very competitive. So when he knew I was leaving, he was like, "Who are you leaving us for?" And I said, "Breakfast tacos." He thought I was going to name some other company, and I was just like, "Nope. I don't even have a job. I didn't have a job when I moved down here. So breakfast tacos are probably a second runner-up, though. I will say, just the nightlife here is super fun. Like, I lived in New York for so long, and that's a very gay city. Like, this is a very queer city. Like, it just feels like there's more of the LGBTQ rainbow on parade here, ongoing, having a bunch of really fun dance parties, and I wanted to dance in the heat. So here we are.
Very good. And so what do you do for work?
Now I am a public relations consultant, but a very specific kind. So basically, it's sort of funny. Maybe some people know what public relations is. I think that people mostly just have a very cursory view of it, that it's to make companies look good. And it largely is. It's to communicate what the company wants to share and to respond to questions from the public and to make sure that you have a voice for the company. And you might do that for Coca-Cola, to answer questions, to put out a release about a new product or whatever. What I do and what I've done for years is I public relations advertising agencies. So I put out what the agencies do. So say, for example, if my agency did a campaign for Coke, I wouldn't go out and publicize Coke. I would go out and publicize that my agency had done the work. Because if, it's something that people never think of, but if you've got an ad agency that's got 1,000, 10,000 people, that company also needs to have its brand out there. So I've done that for over 20 years. And that has segued into me also running a nonprofit that is called Do the Work, WERQ, and it is the premier community for LGBTQ people in advertising.
Amazing. Very good. Okay, Graham, so through the game, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career, about yourself, and about your point of views in life. But before we start the interview, I would like I saw a phrase on your, I think, our Instagram page, and it got my attention. It says there, I'm not for everyone, and that's a good thing. Tell me something about it.
That's my bio. It's not a quote that I stole from anywhere. It's just like the way that I live. It's like, the more that we talk about, I don't know. I feel like it's very American to talk about be yourself, but then to care what other people think of you. And I decided that I would just do the first thing and not the last thing, that I would just be myself and not worry about what other people, you really, like, if you want to be yourself, you cannot worry about what other people think of you. If you stand for something, then usually there's people who stand against you. Yeah, there's so many people that just stand against my existence as a queer man. There's so many people who stand against my existence as someone who is like, pro women's rights, like, and some people are just going to be like, wow, I've had people in my life who say, wow, you're like, you seem really fun and you're really cool, except I don't stand with you on this and I can't abide this. And it's just like, okay, cool, bye. There's billions of people on this planet. I don't need them all, and that's not to be disrespectful to those people. It's just to sort of say that, like, look, with this many people, that there's this idea that, like, maybe we could all be friends. It's like, we've never all been friends, and we're not all going to be good friends. And I think that when you know where people stand, you and you know where you stand, you could draw in the people that actually share your values and know that you have integrity around those. So, I'm not for everyone, and I think that's good. And people who aren't like me, who band together, are great as well, as long as they're not trying to hurt me, which is a bit of a problem in this country. But in general, if you like, I don't know, cross stitch. I don't do cross stitch or yarn work, but if you like that, go do it. Have fun.
No, it's very interesting saying that, but it's so true. Actually saying that, I think we need those people as well. Do you know what I mean? Because imagine if everyone loves us or everyone likes us the way we are, we'll be so boring. Do you know what I mean? So that's what makes life a little bit spicy, and that's it makes exciting as well. But as you said, if you don't agree with me, if you don't like my point of views or the way I stand for life, but make your own way, and that's it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, make your own way. And a lot, and the problem comes from, a lot of the time, very often motivated by religion. People are just like, I'm just trying to live my life in this religious way, and you keep ruining it by having a pride parade. And I'm like, I'm not ruining a damn thing. I also have had to go to like so many weddings. Do you know how I feel about weddings? I don't like them. But it's, it's a very like, it's a very Christian sort, or it's not just in Christianity, right? It's like all over the stuff. It's like, I have to do your religious stuff. Every once in a while, you're going to see me kiss a guy, and we're all going to like understand that like neither of us is hurting each other. We just don't believe the same thing.
Right. Graham, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here a full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay?
Okay, I'm ready to move.
Yeah.
I hear it now. It took me a second to catch the beat. I'm usually a better dancer.
Okay, Graham, just before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very friendly. First question for you is very easy. Actually, because of this question I'm going to ask you now, there is something else as well that I saw in your profile that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But first question for you is, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly? And what would you do?
Oh, wow. Great question. I have thought, I'm a big comic book nerd. I'm a big superhero nerd. I've thought a lot about the flying thing. It affords you a certain degree of safety, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem safe. Like if you ever hit a bird, if a bird hit you at a certain speed, it's all like there goes your face. I don't know. It's like if I flew, I would need armor. It just feels like a lot of work. Invisibility sounds great. I always loved spy stuff. I feel like there's some things I can get my hands on that would sort of help me out in life. So yeah, invisibility is the way to go. And if I had to be naked to be invisible, it's like, that's fine. I don't care.
That's why you came naked for the interview.
That's it. I'm
joking.
You can see me?
I'm joking. And let's say that you, from now on, you have the power of being... No, let's put the question a different way. Let's pretend now you have 24 hours of the power of being visible. What would you do, or where will you go if you could?
24 hours to be invisible. I guess I would probably try to steal political secrets. I won't even lie. If I knew I could bypass stuff, and I knew I can get my hands on some documents that would unearth some truths, like I don't think people would want me to have that power. So I would basically try to use it for 24 hours of social justice and getting my hands on paperwork and checking out files. I think also, I don't know, I'm trying to think of other places you don't necessarily want to be seen. It's sort of funny. I think some people would use it to get into some places or get into some parties or get into some whatever. And I typically don't like to go into places that don't want me there. So I have people who are let's go to Soho House, which is that, paid membership place, here in the city. And I'm just they make you pay just to be inside. I don't think I want to go there. So there's no place I want to sneak into. I think I just want to get some secrets and get some truths and deal out some justice.
Very good one. And you'll be a superhero as your was actually this question. It's about I saw a lot of your work or artwork on your Instagram page, a lot of pictures about the superhero, and I was like, I'm gonna ask a lot of questions about for sure. And the first question was that. So there we go. So anyone who sees my Instagram sees that I'm very big on the X-Men, on superhero stuff, and I commission a lot of queer artists to draw me as different characters, and Cyclops is chief among them, and it's because I respect the character, and I think that he personality-wise says some things about me, a lot of power, but he has to keep it sort of restrained, and like we just said, it's the whole I'm not for everyone, and mutants aren't for everyone in the comics, and it's just but you got to be yourself, and so he's out there as a public hero for stuff. So that's why I relate, but I don't know if I necessarily want his power. I would do good things with it, but blasts that come from your eyes that you can't control, maybe not top of my list. I would say there's two powers that I love. One is telekinesis. My first ever favorite superhero was Marvel Boy. He could move things with his mind. That just takes care of so many things. It's so many things. You could fly with that. You can, moving day would be very easy. There's no one getting in your way of these clubs. No one's gonna stop me from going into Soho House, I guess, if I wanted to go in there. But it's a lot. I would help a lot of people carry their groceries, I think. So that's nice. And then there's this other power that I love. There's this character named Midnighter, who's a gay superhero, and his power is that before the first punch is thrown in a fight, he can see the 1,000 ways the fight can go, and then make it, pick the way that where he'll win. I need that. Who doesn't need that? Absolutely. When you mentioned about the Soho House, it's like a private members club.
Yeah, you go there if you want to be seen by other people with money, I think.
I see. Okay, so now I got it.
Yes. Yeah, it's you go there and you drink you drink a very expensive drink, I think, and then do some work on your laptop, and then talk to people about how there's no equality in the world, while you're in a building that people can't get into unless they're rich.
All right, let's get deep.
You caught me in a very political mood today. I'm just very I think something I read this morning must have driven home that there's some big wealth disparities in this world. It's yes, there are. So I'll go to those dance parties instead.
Great. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Graham, next question for you is, what makes you most uncomfortable about yourself?
Oh, wow. Very interesting question. What makes me most uncomfortable about myself? I think, um, I think that there's, I'll put it this way, my willingness to embrace my depression sometimes. So there's this myth that, to be an artist you have to be dark or you have to be tortured, and it's like, in college, high school I didn't have friends. In college I started to get friends, but like we wore black and we smoked and we listened to like sad music, and it's like that makes us interesting. And it's just like, I think sometimes when I'm at my lowest, or I'm like, my darkest or my most cynical, I'm just like, well, this is interesting though, right? Or this is the real truth, and this is like whatever. And and it's like, it's okay to be unhappy sometimes, and it's okay to be, to address tension and to like know that you need a break and like stuff like that. But I think that there's been long stretches of my life where I've just like held on to my dark side for too long, just sort of going, this is like essential to doing what's right. And it's like, no, it's not. You can like, I'm learning to just very consciously sort of go like, this makes me happy. And that's just as interesting as like the dark stuff.
Saying that, do you think those that you moved places quite, like from Ohio to Chicago, New York, do you think that's you're trying to find your place to be like not 100% happy, but happier than you ever been? Do you think it's all connected or not?
I really like that question too, because people have what is it? The quote is that comparison is the thief of joy, or something like that, right? People always like to say, which one did you like best? As if you have to choose. And like, I chose all of them, and I chose them all for different parts of my life. So it's like, what I tend to do is my answer is all of those places were the exact right place for where I needed to be. Chicago was a really great place to be, not super far from home, but like also to be far from home. And New York was a great place to sort of like advance and take in art and like try new things and push my boundaries. And Austin was to be a little bit more chill while still in a weird, welcoming setting. And I'm getting there. And, I've had dreams of like, London or Australia, and it's like, and those will be the place when they're the place. I actually, when I left Chicago, when I left New York, I wasn't unhappy. I wasn't like, I hate this place. It was just, or I wasn't like, I need to go somewhere better. It was just like a matter of like, where do I need to be right now based on who I am?
I see. Yeah, I think moving places, I think is always a good thing. You learn more, you get more experience, you challenge yourself. It's I think it's a good thing. I think people, they should always, if they see some opportunity, if they think, okay, let me try something new or different, or let me just be adventurous, why not? I think that's there's always a positive part of it. Not gonna lose anything, you're just gonna gain things, I believe. It's not easy, of course, and sometimes can be challenged, but there we go. It's always a exciting experience for sure.
Yeah, it's really funny. When I was thinking of leaving New York, and again, I wasn't unhappy, and I was like, but should I move to Austin? I had this friend who told me, we had been talking about how, people just get more fixed in their ways as they get older. And that's like conservatives getting more conservative, liberals getting more liberal, everyone just doubling down on their most extreme sort of things. And we were talking about how he said, that's all neural pathways. That's all your brain just getting in loops, like literal loops. Like you get these, like, these connections that just sort of like repeat themselves. And that one of the best ways to break them is to go somewhere else, because you break a lot of loops. Like you have a loop in your brain about where my toothbrush is. So you're just like, oh, I reach here and there's my toothbrush, and it just reinforces that loop. But if you break that, like the fact that you don't know where your toothbrush is also opens you up to like, well, I don't know who I'm going to call on Friday night. I don't know where this chair goes. Like you break a lot of your loops when you move. So I think I'm going to continue. Like I'm here for the foreseeable future, but I also am like, I'm not going to stay here forever, because when I get more set in my ways, I gotta break out just to make sure that, I'm doing the things I care about.
Amazing. Very good. Next question for you. Let's do it. Before the next question, Graham, tell me what you like the most about your job. And also, there's always a challenging part as well. What that would be?
The part of my job I like the most is that the job is at its very best. It's about interesting conversation and celebrating people, really. So a lot of people have this view of PR that it's like about keeping secrets and that it's about, making sure that the company always looks good, even if they're doing bad things. Like it's a job that gets a lot of bad PR itself, which is sort of funny. But, the truth of it is there is some crisis management at certain companies, but like 95% of the job is just sort of go, oh, we're doing something new and interesting, the kind of thing that people would want to talk about at dinner, or we've got a leader who's saying interesting things about this business and is calling for change and is calling for whatever. And it's like, oh, cool. My job is to meet those people, to figure out what their conversation is they want to have with the world, and then put them in an interview or on a webcast or in a podcast so that they can talk about the things that they love. So it's a very it's all about like finding interesting stuff and making sure more people can talk about it. That's nice. The challenging part is, and I've learned a little bit more about how to deal with this, is just the psychology of all this stuff, because it's a lot of the work is about decision making. A lot about, if I'm working with a company right now, let's say they're a very good company and they want good things about themselves in the world, and you're just like, well, okay, cool, let's talk about what you stand for. And they're like, oh, I stand for this, except I also kind of stand for this. I also kind of stand for this. But also, I have a history of this, and it's just like, and also like a lot of the things they stand for, it's like, well, what do you do to show that you stand for that? They're like, well, I believe in it. And it's like, okay, but that's not the same as like showing the world. So there's a lot of, the interesting thing is getting people to make decisions. Sometimes people don't like working with me because my job is to say, if you believe in something, I need to prove that you believe in it if I'm going to tell the world about it. And then they go, oh, like either one, I have to do some work to like prove that I care about this, or that these are what my values are, or two, I have to make a decision about where I want to focus my values. They don't always love, those are very soul searching questions. Some people also love working with me for that reason. There's just the challenging part is the psychology of getting people to make decisions about what they want to be and what they want to say to the world.
All right. Next question is, which question you wouldn't have an answer for?
Oh, wow. A question I don't have an answer for. Whether or not, this is what I talk about in therapy lately. Whether or not I actually care if I ever have a partner one day, or whether the world just tells me that I want one. Every like dating situation I've had has been bad, and yet the world is just like, you'll find one. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like this is just like the way for like people who don't know what else they want to do sometimes get married, or they start dating someone, or it's like, why wouldn't I date someone? And sometimes the answer is like, well, because you want to have sex. It's like, I can have sex with people without dating them. That's fine. Like, it's there's all these scripts around it. And it's like, sometimes I think, something like when I'm sick, I'm like, I would love someone to take care of me. And when I want to watch TV, I'm like, it would be nice to have someone to watch TV with where it wasn't like a whole big deal. They were just sort of there. But most of the time I don't want someone, but the whole world is just like, but just you wait, someone's going to win your heart. And I'm like, the last 5 people to win my heart were monsters. So I don't know if I want to do that.
You said something very interesting. Actually, I was thinking about that yesterday. Yesterday, I caught myself thinking about everything you said now. Is so funny because everything you said now I was lost in my thought yesterday regarding relationship. And actually, I think about that. Some, as I said, all of us, I think is a natural tendency of the human being to be with someone, to share a life with someone. It's normal. I think all of us, even though we can live on, you're happy with yourself, your life, alone, single, whatever. But there's deep inside, there's always this thing, okay, to be with someone, some people, they do that in a better way. Some people, they don't care. Some people, as you can see, some people, they suffer a lot. But I was thinking to myself, and I got to a conclusion that even though, I think people, they're going to come to this world to be with someone. People's going to come to this world to share a life, forever or for long periods. But some of people as well, they come to this world and they are happy the way they are, single, as you said, having fun, you know what I mean? And it's fine. It's because we've been brought up in a way that you need to be with someone. It's kind of a society thing,
It's a goal. goal, and people who don't achieve it have failed.
That's
or
the thing.
Here's the thing too, is that like if you look at not distant history, marriages were business deals. And
Yep.
and the reason it was you weren't a success if you didn't reach it is because you didn't have money to buy a spouse. Like you weren't in a family that was affluent for this. So like, it's something that we chased because everyone wanted to feel like they deserved what the rich people had. And it's like, I can also, if you and I have brunch together every Sunday for the next 5 years, I think we've shared enough of our lives together, and like, and I've connected with a person, and then the next day I've gone to brunch with a different person, and it's like one person forever is nice for songs, but very bad for humans, I think.
But the conclusion of my thought
Yeah.
was there are no rules, there are no rules. I think it's if you're gonna be single for, I don't know, rest of your life or for a long period of your life, it's okay. I mean, there are there are no rules that being told, okay, you need to be with someone, because if not. So I think it's something that anyway, what's your star sign?
Oh, I am a Pisces.
Interesting. I am Scorpio. In Scorpio, we are so good we are very individuals. We are,
Yeah.
if you we are with somebody, we are happy. If not, we are very happy for ourselves. That's going to be a problem as well, because we exclude ourselves of the world. You know what I mean? We get so comfortable with our own company, and sometimes can be a problem in a way, because you don't let yourself to be involved with other people. Anyway, so
Really quickly, I'm looking at my horoscope. You reminded me. Today it says, check your coat pockets to make sure you have everything you need. I'm not sure that applies to this. To the conversation.
I just think that in the end of the day, there are no rules. I think that, when you realize that, you take this heavy thing off your shoulders. You know what I mean? There are no rules. I think you just need to live life and be happy. And if someone comes along, good. And if it doesn't, good too. So
Yeah. And every time someone's like, you need to be with someone, I'm like, show me who,
Yeah.
who's that person? And they go, look at that guy. That guy's hot. And I'm like, there's a big difference between you think that guy is hot and I should spend the rest of my life with him. No one can point me to the person I should be with, and and the people that I thought I should be with were all like nightmares. So it's just like, maybe I don't need to do this. And if someone awesome, I'll tell you what, at this point, if someone awesome shows up, and provides the answer to my question of whether or not I'm supposed to be with someone, he will have worked his off. I've done so much work. I'm done doing the work. Like, you want to take me out, you want to like whatever, that's great. If a lot of like, guys in their 20s are like, ooh, this guy is like in his 40s. He'll spend money on me. I'm like, no. You'll be buying me things. I've done enough. No.
I just like your theory. Amazing. I love that. Ready for another one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, Graham, next question for you is, if you could be a character in a movie, who that would be and why?
You know what? It's sort of funny. I used to want to be an actor. I have an acting background. I used to do improv. I used to do comedy acting. I think I would like. I'm considering writing a book. I think that like if I were to be in a movie or a character in a movie, it would probably want to be like some version of myself. There's some actors who like play people who are basically them. Like, some people say that about Tina Fey, that no matter what role she's in, she's kind of just Tina Fey, like, or Aubrey Plaza, stuff like that, which I don't think is necessarily true, but like, Seinfeld played Seinfeld, right? Like that kind of thing. So I would do something like that, I think, because I would, specific to what we just talked about, I think that I would want to show a story of someone who was single so people could see what that looked like. I being a superhero would be fun. Playing a Marvel character would be great. I'm not going to say no to that check, but I think that like playing someone who just like lives happily and still does interesting things, but it's not like a bunch of romance is a good thing for people to see.
Amazing. And just saying that, what would be the title of this beautiful, big, interesting movie?
Oh, I have a working name for my book, which would maybe work for this, which is Dying Alone at Great Parties. Because everyone always goes, but if you don't find someone, you'll die alone. And I'm just like, I mean, if you get married, you might die alone. If you get married to someone for 80 years and then they die, and then you're alone for the last month of your life before you die, you've died alone. Someone always dies first, unless you go in the exact same car accident. So it's like so every or plane crash or horse murder. I don't know, but like the idea that I'm dying alone because I haven't found anyone. It's like, okay, cool, but I'm doing it at great parties. So that's what we'll call it: dying alone at great parties.
Okay, I'll be in the front row watching this beautiful movie. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your patronage of the arts.
Next question, let's do it. Before the next question, tell me a little bit about your tattoos. I could see one of your chests in your pictures. Very interesting.
Oh, I have a lot of comic book and music stuff. So this is for that first Marvel character I talked about, Marvel Boy, that I liked. This is for a couple of the X-Men. This is for Cyclops, and this is for Havoc.
Wow.
Some of it is musical. So this is for the band Garbage, the G from their first album, the power button from their art for the song Push It. The design here is sort of based off of the gun barrel from the opening of the James Bond movies, because they did the song The World Is Not Enough. I've got another X-Man on the tattoo. I've got this is for the artist Fiona Apple. This is for the movie Kill Bill. This is the O from the Ohio flag. My sister has Ohio on her wrist, and these are the coordinates of the house where I grew up. So it's just a lot of like, it's all black with a little bit of red, and it is just stuff from music and stories that I care about.
How old are you when you had the first one?
Ooh, first one I was 24, I believe. It's the G. The G was first. I probably would have gotten it bigger. It's a little bit small. I got it. I just picked this shop in Chicago where my friend said that her friend was tattooing, and I was like, well, then that's where I'll go.
Very good. Next question for you is, who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
Oh, wow. The most influential person in my life. Wow, that's a great question. Probably my sister Crystal. So basically she's not my biological sister. We grew up in the same hometown. We met each other in high school. We found out after we became friends, we found out that our grandfathers had been best friends at one point, which is pretty interesting. We found out that they had bonded because they were very politically incorrect. So that wasn't nice to hear. But we're their grandchildren now, and we've taken over. And Crystal is, there's certain people in life, especially when you're LGBTQ, there's this whole idea that your family is the people that you choose. And she's, been in my life since I was, I think 16 years old, 15 years old. We've lived in the same city for a fair amount of time. I don't know. It's just like you have the person that you think understands you better than anyone. So it's like they're sort of like your, the reflection in which you see yourself. I also just defer to her on important decisions. She picks out where all my art goes. I'm very decisive, but I make so many decisions that I need someone who understands me to make good decisions for me sometimes. And she's the person I rely on for that, even though she thinks she's terrible at making decisions and she thinks she's bad at giving advice. My best friend, Katie, is excellent at giving advice and has been very motivating to me. But usually if Katie gives me advice, my sister will be like, yeah, just do what she said. She got it right. She's very good. It's but Crystal helps me more than she thinks she does.
I think Crystal's going to be very happy to watch the interview and know that for sure.
I would hope so. Yes. And and Katie's up there, as well in terms of influence, because she has, I've known Crystal longer. That's why it's the person in my life. It's since I was 16, this is someone who so I don't always, I think there's some people who think that the oldest friendships are always the best. And I don't think that's the case. Crystal has definitely been influential for so much of my life, but Katie in the past decade has given me a lot of strength and made me given me more strength to like fight for what I need to fight for.
Both of them, they live in Ohio?
Crystal was from Ohio. Katie is from St. Louis.
Okay, cool. Ready for another one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next question.
Yes.
Next question is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
Oh, wow. I have one that's like very sexual, so I'll leave that one out.
Oh no, share please.
No, my joke is, I mean, if we could, it's so funny. My friend Andy said that I came on his heart, and I was like, oh my God, that's right? That's very explicit. And it's so funny because when he said it, I was like, well, Andy, that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. So that's what I'm thinking of right now. One of
I'm just making a movie now in my head, like trying to.
It's a very strong visual. I think that like I think that one of the most Crystal's mom passed away, and before she did, she made sure to say goodbye to me in a nice way, because you don't always get to say goodbye the way that you want. She made sure to say goodbye to me in a nice way, and then she basically sort of said, like, write something. And it was like, she didn't tell me what, she didn't try to tell me what, she just sort of said, like, it was just sort of like this affirmation that, like, maybe my perspective matters, and that I need to be heard. You know, there's this whole, there's this really, really great stand-up special called Randy Writes a Novel. It's with this comedian Australian who's a puppet. And he basically tells this story about how, like, look, we may all have like different stories, but it doesn't mean that we need to tell them necessarily. Like, who are we to tell those? And she sort of like was like, you need to tell yours in that moment. I thought that was very nice.
Oh, sweet. Oh my God, that's amazing. For sure.
Yeah.
3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it. Good dancer you are. So before the next question, tell me a little bit about your arts.
My art. Oh, the art on the walls is all, some of it is original, some of it is prints. That one is a comic book poster from 1992. That one's a comic book poster from last year. That's for the band Garbage. This one was drawn for me as a going away gift from Chicago.
I like this one, actually. I like this one behind you. You just showed now. Yes, I love this one.
That one's done by a guy named Demetrius Argyropoulos, who's a Chicago-based artist whose main job is to draw organs for textbooks, for anatomy textbooks. And he did this for me.
Did you came close to his heart as well?
Not his, but the girl he was dating at the time is my Spider-Woman. So this is Cyclops and Spider-Woman. So she got close to his heart. He would have been able to draw that. That's because of his job.
Amazing. Very good. Cool. Next question for you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, wow. This is tricky, right? Because a lot of people, this is what I'm figuring out, because it's just like, I don't think I want to get married. I don't think I want to buy a house. People are like, that's a good investment. I'm like, you buy it, and then like the next week you find out that all your pipes are bad. You owe $20,000 for your pipes, right? And you got to like, you know, we have to redo the bathroom. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do all that. I just want to hang out. So I think in 5 years, I hope I've written the book. It doesn't have to be successful. I just want it done. And I hope that I'm still exercising a ton, and I hope that I'm traveling a ton. I just want to be able to move and see things and express myself. But like, I don't have any particular like goal right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be a comedian anymore. I don't want to be like a famous author. I just want to like sort of like exist and check out some new stuff and you know, connect with some new people and reconnect with some old people.
I'm afraid to say too late now. I'm gonna be very famous now after this interview on the Magic Box. Hey!
Yeah, it's called self-fulfilling prophecy. I brought this upon myself.
2 questions left for you, Graham. Let's do it.
All right.
before the next question, tell me, through those 2 years that the world is being facing the COVID crisis, for you personally, what's the biggest positive impact that COVID crisis brought to your personal life? And also, what's the most negative impact that also brought at the same time?
Oh, they're both the same answer. The positive impact that I had time to start 2 companies. So I needed to reinvent my career at the time. Work isn't always the most important thing, but it was like I had a very specific, like, I needed to become a freelancer for the first time, and this bought me the time to do that and to explore new relationships, et cetera, and also to start my nonprofit. The bad news is that when you are home at 11 o'clock at night and you get a work email from someone who's at home because they don't have anything else to do, and then you reply because you don't have anything else to do, and they reply at midnight, and you're just like, well, I could reply at 9 a.m. or I could just reply now because I have nothing to do. Like, you know, I just got very, very, very tuned into work in a way where it's like, you know, now after COVID, you can tune out and say, I'm going to go get a drink with friends. But I had to really pull myself out of working too much. But then again, I don't know what my businesses would look like if it wasn't for what happened during COVID. So it was a rough year and a half, but also what came from it was really positive.
Good, beautiful. Next question is talking about traveling, moving, 5 years. Next question is, where do you see yourself living when will you retire?
When I retire, oh, wow. I mean, like I said, I think I want to live in London at some point. I think I want to live in Australia at some point. I don't know if I'll get to do both. I think I want to like be back.
Have you been in London or Australia before or not?
I've visited both. I haven't visited London as much as I've wanted to. Australia, I did a few weeks there, and you know, I have a lot of friends who live in both places. I think that if I got to plan for it, you know, you never know when the end will come, but if I got to plan a retirement, I would like to do it somewhere in the United States, and probably still somewhere new. Like, I don't think I'd like want to go back to New York or go back to Chicago or go, like, I think, like, you know, if I'm 60, 65, and I just finished, you know, a decade in London, and I get to come back to the United States, I might say, hey, I'll try Portland for the first time, you know? I'll try Seattle for the first time. And of course, the scary part of that is being a 55-year-old, 65-year-old who's in a new city for the first time without any friends who are in place. But it's also like, I can always go visit my friends. And, you know, I think that it's possible for older people to make new friends and have new adventures. So I think, you know, I would want to consider that.
And I can see yourself doing that. Actually, you have this spirit of adventure, of moving, and you know, it's visible. It's yourself. It's you. You know.
Thank you. I mean, you got to break those loops. But it is me. But I have to keep becoming something else, right? I don't like when people are just like, well, you know, they're full of hate or they're full of bitterness, and they vote for hate and bitterness, and it's like, well, that's just who I am. And it's like, no, the world kept moving and you stopped moving with it, and you're afraid, and so you vote for fear. And it's just like, I want to make sure that I'm like, you know, I'm never afraid, and that I'm always like going out and doing new stuff.
Sometimes, well, there's something else. Sometimes I can be a bit silly and a bit childish as well. I was about to say, and I'm looking forward to meet you in London in the future sometime. But that's not the silly thing I want to say. And I was about, it's a joke, okay? I was about to say, I will look forward for you to come close to my heart.
There you go. It's a memorable quote, right? Like, you'll never forget that he said that. So,
I'm sorry. It's just a joke. I'm sorry. It's just a joke.
No. I'm going to make sure that he watches this too, so he knows the impact. Like, Andy, you know, look, you know, our hearts are full now, and it's all your fault.
Now people's gonna talk about that all the time. It's gonna be like, everyone, oh, please come close to my heart.
They'll be like, you're that guy, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be that guy, but you know, that's fine.
Oh dear. Ready for the last one?
Yes.
Last question. Let's do it. There we go.
I learned to make noise. By the end, I learned to make some noise.
before the last question, people watching the interview, would you like to start a career in public relations? Yeah, what would be your best piece of advice?
If they want to start a career in public relations, they should just talk to public relations professionals. I think that a lot of people choose their career without talking to people in that career. God, I mean, like what, in college, we picked a major. I picked advertising. I'd never spoken to anyone in advertising. It's like, that's sort of like fucking crazy. They should have a program where before you choose a major, you talk to someone who works in that field. I have people who always think that they want to like leave to do something else. Like I want to leave PR and I want to work at a brand in marketing. It's like, okay, cool. Have you ever done that? No. Do you know anyone who does? Well, yeah. Have you talked to them about what their days are like? No. Like, just, talk to them, explore before you like make decisions about like, but a lot of people do that. They're just like, well, I think I need to get into the music business because I love music. And they've never talked to someone who works in music. That's a tough business. Oof.
I don't think you mean that. I think you like music. Just
look, I work with people in music right now, and they are the most reliable music people I've ever worked with in my life. They're so nice. They're so accountable, and I'm just like, I can't believe you work in music. I'll just put it that. Like, it's just like, wow. I found the right people in music, I guess. But like, it doesn't make me want to like, work in the biz necessarily.
Great. Last question for you is, do you have any pet peeves?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have tons. Speaking of being single, I had another pet peeve revived last night, which was couples who hold hands and take up the entire sidewalk. And they look like you should walk around them because they're in a relationship.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah. If you're so privileged, take a second, make room for someone on the sidewalk, and then get back together, have a reunion, make out. I don't care. Get the out of my way. I don't love that. I also don't. I also have grown to like resent. Like, I'm just not big on forced prayer, which is, it's just sort of like, let us, look, it's Thanksgiving, so we're gonna bow our heads and pray, and that's when I check my phone. That's what I'm just like, okay, that's what I'll be doing. Oh, is this disrespectful? I don't, it's like, I don't care. I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. Y'all pray, you have each other. And also just, a big pet peeve is the many, many, many ways in which people sort of imply that your life isn't good if you're not with someone, right? Like those are all the big ones where it's just like, I wouldn't even have to think about this stuff if I wasn't getting hit up every day where someone's like, oh, you deserve it. And I'm like, I don't want it. And they're like, well, but you deserve it. And then sometimes they'll be like, oh, you're cute, you deserve it. I'm like, so only people who look a certain way deserve it? Like people who don't look a certain way but want love. And oh yeah, everyone deserves love. And I'm just like, well, what if you don't want it? And they're just like, I don't know. And they give up because they realize they're just repeating a script. So
all right.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. Right. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with family.
Oh, chosen.
Money.
Ethics.
Love.
Ambivalence.
Ooh. Sex.
Work.
Interesting. Life.
Dance.
Politics.
Truth.
Religion.
Boring.
Fear.
Managed.
Friendship.
Ultimate.
Regret.
Sorry.
Desire.
I'm trying to think of the right. I'm almost there. Desire. The word is uninhibited, I guess.
Success.
Invent.
Wish.
Sorry. Wish. Act.
How about happiness?
Lasagna.
One word for Ohio.
Oh. Bye.
One word for Chicago.
Growth.
New York.
Adventure.
How about Austin?
Heat.
And USA.
Bye. Also bye.
The last one now, public relations. One word.
Conversation.
Okay. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your lovely friend, your lovely sister, Crystal, for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, tell me the most beautiful thing about Graham, and tell me something that he still needs to improve on, to work on. What should say?
Oh God. She'll probably just say, like, make a comment about like the fact that we've connected to so many people. Like, you know, we've got like this really, really wonderful family, and like all these different, like, you know, that we've grown, that together we've sort of grown this group of people that's like so magical and like very connected. Like, we have our own family, and I think she would acknowledge my role in that. And I think that in terms of something she said I still needed to fix, she would say that I need to I don't know, she doesn't like tell me what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I ask her for stuff to do, or I ask her like, should I shave my mustache? Or I ask her like, should I put this art up? She doesn't, I think she's just like, she trusts me enough to do what I need to do. So she wouldn't have any feedback there. She would say, I don't like to make decisions for myself. I'm certainly not going to make them for him. And I'd say, great answer.
If I would ask the same question to your lovely friend Katie, it would be the same answer?
Oh, Katie would say that like, in terms of, I don't know, I think that she would just say that like I make her laugh and make her think. Like, we just have like the best conversations in the world. And like, I think that she would sort of, you know, just talk about like the chemistry that we have in terms of like conversation and really helping each other out and caring about each other. But like, I don't know, the thing that she would want me to change, I always got the feeling, and I could be completely wrong. I got the feeling, and we never really talked about when I quit like doing stand-up, when I quit performing, I feel like there was a part of her that wanted me to keep doing it. And it's sort of like that, you know, advice where Crystal's mom had told me to write something. I think that Katie has the same ambition for me, that she still wants me to make something, and she wants me to be happy doing it. She doesn't want me to do it for the sake of doing it. But like, I think that when I stopped stand-up, she, you know, was just like, okay, I get why, but also do it, you know, like that maybe that was something I should do for myself. So I don't know, it's a guess. When she watches this, I guess we'll see if I'm right.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's play now. Graham, in the magic box, you can ask me a question. Right, but Graham, actually, before you ask me the question, as through the interview, I realized that you touched a lot about regarding being single, about relationship that's not for you, love is something that, you know, you also mentioned that a lot of people, they try to maybe see you with somebody else, or because, as they said, that you have a lot of qualities to be with someone, this and that. My question to you is, honestly, deep inside, Do you think, actually, before I ask the question is, and also, as you mentioned before as well, that's because relationships, and understand sometimes when you go through, when you break, when relationship finish, it's hard, it's hard and sometimes can, block yourself a lot regarding relationship. But my question to you is, honestly, do you think that's you're gonna meet someone, or it's someone who come to your life some point, or do you picture yourself, or do you think, or it's just like it's a way of you to protect yourself when you kind of express yourself regarding relationship or someone special? My question to you is, do you think deep inside, would you like to be with someone, or do you wish that someone will come some point or not? Honestly,
I think I'll be okay. I mean, look, I've never had anyone who was a good contender. I've been out since I was like 22. I'm 43 right now. I know anything can happen, but like if we're just guessing, it's just like, if I haven't met anyone before, when I was more like, naive or open or whatever, it's like, but like here's the fact. I could get hit by a bus tomorrow and that's it. And it's like, okay, but was I happy? It's like, yeah, I was like very happy. I had the most fun. I had amazing friends. I had like, for every friend that I've mentioned on this, conversation, there's like dozens I would love to talk about, like, and I've shared my life with them, and like, we have all this stuff, and it's like, but isn't it sad you didn't have that one person? And I'm like, no, I wasn't sad. So it's just like, usually is it sad? Is their sadness, their projection. They don't want to be alone. They don't, they can't be by themselves. I can be by myself. That's it. So I honestly don't expect that I'll meet anyone, because actually the more people that I meet who, like, if I get suckered into like going on a date with someone, they get more in a hurry to like, we've got to plan the future. We've got to buy a house. I've got to do this. I'm trying to be responsible. I'm trying to, we need to get a dog together. And I'm just like, I don't have to do any of that. So I think I'm fine.
Okay, let's see.
Well,
Graham,
if someone amazing walks up, tomorrow, I'm not going to say no, but no one amazing has walked up before. So.
You just answered the question now. Done. You answered the question. Graham, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, I thought of this. The question is, I was hoping this would be like sort of a happy one in a way, though it's kind of like, what is something unpleasant or sad or uncomfortable in your life that you never have to do again? So like, for example, I got my tonsils out. I never have to do it again. Just something, it's some bad thing in your life that you're done with.
Okay, as you mentioned about the thing, that went through, just came some ideas in my mind. But actually, when I was a teenager, I was using the braces.
Yeah.
And it was so painful every month when I need to go there to, they need to kind of adjust. And I couldn't eat or even talk properly for a week because the pain was, I was going mad. I was going crazy about it, I remember. And there you go. It's something that's like, hopefully I don't need to wear again, but it was something that literally I was like literally out of my head. I was every month I need to go there to the dentist to adjust. I left the dentist feeling like, okay, now I have 1 week and a half to get myself, done, because it was so painful and it was so horrible, and it wasn't. Yeah, I don't want to go back there again. And I'm glad I did as I was a teenager, because oh my god, it was horrible.
Well, cheers. You don't ever have to get braces again. Well done.
Cheers, thank you so much. Oh my god, yes. But besides that, that's something that came to my mind. That's something that I've done, and it needed, and and I'm glad I did. But it was something uncomfortable and unpleasant as well, for sure. For at least I think it was 1 year and a half that I was wearing it, and it was like, oh, when I took it out, it was the most like relief thing that happened to me at the time. I was like, oh my god, that's something amazing.
It's all done. Yeah.
All done. Graham, did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This was super fun. I'm really grateful for the opportunity. This was a great conversation.
thank you so much for taking the time. By the way, thanks so much for being so open and, talking about things that you're just honest about. I love that. I love that you're so open and so honest about your feelings, about yourself, about what you aim for life. And I think it's really nice to connect with someone who know what they want, and they are very adventurous as well. And they can come close to your heart.
Right here.
Oh, sweet. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Okay. So I was looking for this. That Naomi Campbell said, I guess. It's really
wait. Can you tell the quote in the British accent, as you said, it's from Naomi Campbell?
Oh, let's see here. My British accent has actually gotten terrible over the years, but we'll try it. If you have to talk to more than 3 people about the same problem, you don't want help, you want attention.
I love that, actually.
I don't know if she's the first person to ever say it, but it's attributed to her, and I think it's so true. I mean, there's just people who talk about their problems, and it's like, and it's under the guise of like, well, I'm doing something about it. It's like, okay, the first time you're looking into, for relief, maybe the second time you're looking to vent, but like by the third, by the fourth, fifth time, if you're talking about the same thing and you haven't done anything, like that's it. Like that's, I think that's an important thing to keep an eye out for.
I really like that, actually. I really like that. I've never heard that before, and it really sticks to my mind now. I love it. Thank you, Naomi Campbell.
Yeah, Naomi Campbell. Love her.
Graham, thanks so much for the interview. Thanks for taking the time. And it was a pleasure to have you on the show. Okay, keep in touch, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And I see you in London sometime in the future.
Absolutely. Next year. There you go.
Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.